till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Are you an expert? At Experience Pros, we feature the best in business, and we're looking for industry experts to share tips with our audience. If you're an expert who offers great customer service and you'd like to be a part of the Experience Pros radio show, click on the radio interview request at experiencepros.com. We want our audience to hear from you. Go to experiencepros.com and fill out the radio interview request and start spreading the news that you're going to be on the radio. Inspirational,
informative,
and family-friendly.
This is Family Values Radio.
1010 AM KXXT.
To listen, Phoenix.
From my home to yours, welcome to Arizona Living with Crickette. I'm your host, Crickette Gill, bringing you positive talk radio for a welcome change. Well, hello, and welcome to Arizona Living with Crickette. I am your host, Crickette Gill, yours truly, and guess what, folks? I am flying solo this afternoon. That's right. My wonderful co-host, the ubiquitous biker Mike, is out sick today. He made up some excuse about going to Disneyland or something. I don't know. But nonetheless, he is not in the studio with me today. It is just moi. So, if you have been following the show on the website, ArizonaLivingTalkRadio.com, or following us on Twitter or on Facebook, you will know that today's topic is about living a purposeful life. So before we get started today, I wanted to share a story with you about a trip that I took to Los Angeles a few months ago. I went there to help a friend move, and while I was there, he convinced me to visit a psychic. Now, some people might say, a psychic? Ew, why did you go visit a psychic? Well, I don't necessarily believe in psychics. I don't necessarily believe that they are able to tell the future. I do think that they are individuals that can read a person very well. I think you have to be reading individuals in order to be a psychic. I don't call 800 numbers or follow the daily horoscopes or anything like that, but I thought it would be fun to go and check this out, and just to say, at least in my lifetime, hey, I went to see a psychic once and guess what happened. So I wanted to have that under my belt. So nonetheless, the psychic that I saw gave me some pretty solid advice. She told me that I was an Irish wolfhound who thinks she is a Chihuahua. So let that sink in for a minute. You're an Irish wolfhound, so you're this huge, majestic, wonderful dog that thinks that they're a little tiny Chihuahua. You can imagine how awkward that would be for the Irish wolfhound. She looked at me square in the face and she said to me, "Do you want to be doing what you are doing?" And she was talking about my regular 9-to-5 job. She said, "Do you want to do this for the next 30 years? And I quickly answered no, didn't even hesitate. And then she turned around and said, in a somewhat harsh way as far as psychics go, she was definitely not what I expected from a psychic. She used language that I would just say was quite colorful. She turned to me and said, "Then stop hiding amongst your fellow Chihuahuas and stand up and stand out. Be the Irish wolfhound that you were meant to be." And I took that message home with me on the ride back to Phoenix, and I really thought about it. Well, I don't think she means that I am taller than the other Chihuahuas. I don't think that's the comparison she was trying to make when comparing an Irish wolfhound to a Chihuahua. Instead, I think she was saying to me that it's okay to stand out. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be the Irish wolfhound that you are meant to be. So when I came across this book, Journeys on the Edge, I was immediately taken back to the innocence of my childhood. It was a point in time for me, as it was for many of us, where we were sure about what we wanted to do when we grow up. We knew who we wanted to be, what we wanted to be when we grew up, and not only that, we knew how we were going to do it. We knew what age we were going to be married at. We knew how many children we were going to have. We knew what kind of house we wanted to live in. We had it all planned before the age of 9 years old. But somewhere along the way, many of us lost track of that. I know I did. I personally went through a period of depression after losing my dad, my grandfather, and it lasted for years. And during that time, I was alone, I was lost, I was confused. I just settled for whatever came my way. I was happy to have a job, and it didn't matter what it was. As long as I could do it, I did it. Somewhere along the line, we become bogged down with responsibility. There are bills to pay, mind-numbing desk jobs that occupy the majority of our time. We do spend 40 hours plus a week at our jobs, and it really would be beneficial if those jobs were satisfactory to us. But for many of us, it isn't. As a matter of fact, a recent article suggested that 70% of us hate our jobs. 70% of us are disengaged. Not engaged or actively disengaged was the terminology that they used. And that is a very high percentage of us that are just not satisfied with what we do every day, every single day of our lives. So it is so important that you live your life with a purpose. So when I came across Journeys on the Edge, that's what it is about. It's about living your life with a purpose. It teaches you how to look around those distractions that have come into your life as you've become an adult and actually achieve some of those goals that you set for yourself as a child. You look up and 20 to 30 years have passed and you forgot what it means to live and truly enjoy your life. You give up so much of your time to others that you neglect your own dreams and aspirations. If that sounds like you, you are not alone, because I was there too. And to me, that's not living. Living is not based on how you spend your 2-week vacation, or how large your home is, or how nice of a car you drive. Living, to me, is about experiencing life with all of your senses, with all of your faculties. It is about being the master of your life, control over your time. It is about taking those 40-plus hours of your life that you lend to that job each week and doing it because you want to do it, not because you feel obligated to do it. Instead of putting time and energy into something that does not fulfill you, that does not give you cause to spring out of bed each morning eager and ready to face the day, you can put that energy into something that drives you, that you're very passionate about. Living, true living, involves spending your time doing what you want. We all have to work. We all need some sort of income in order to survive. That's the world we live in. But there is nothing that says you can't earn an income doing something that you truly enjoy. So today's guest is a best-selling author, speaker, success coach. He's a high-altitude mountaineer, a blue water sailor, and an adventure photographer. Mr. Walt Hampton has written the book Journeys on the Edge, and it acts as a guide to living a purposeful life full of passion and possibility. In the book, Walt interweaves his own personal stories with words of encouragement, wisdom, and guidance that are truly inspirational. And I say that from the heart. They really, really are. So I'm very pleased to have him with us on the show today to share his story. Welcome to the show, Walt. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, Crickette, I'm so happy to be with you. Thanks for asking me.
I want to start this interview off with you by letting you know that when I read your book, and I read it from cover to cover in just a couple of days, that I felt like you were speaking from the heart, that you were writing about something that you were genuinely passionate about. And that doesn't happen very often when you read a book. The words don't come across as if the person is sitting right across from you and actually saying it to you out loud. But that is how I felt reading your book. Do you get that a lot from people that read this book and it transforms their lives and they feel like you spoke directly to them?
Well, it was my intent, Crickette, and I do get a lot of good feedback in that regard. I wrote it in a conversational way. I wrote it in a way that I hoped would connect with people and to really get them to come up short and ask themselves the question, Am I living the life that I really want to be living? Am I living the life that really matters to me? Am I living my highest, best self? Am I really living my life that reflects my truest and deepest values?
Now, at some point, you've had a lot of jobs over your years. I mean, you've been a trial attorney. You're a photographer.
I'm much better now, though.
You're much better at being an attorney.
I'm much better now.
That's good. You were also a priest, right?
No, I was a seminarian for 6 years. I'm the oldest son of an Irish Catholic mother, which informs a lot of my neuroses. But no, I lasted 6 years in the seminary, and then I discovered that I really, really, really liked the idea of getting married, settling down. So that got in the way of that career track.
Okay. Is that why you just went to 1 year of medical school, or did you do the medical school and then you decided, this isn't for me?
Well, that's an interesting story, too. When I was a third-year student at Cornell Law School, my very, very favorite course was law and medicine. It was taught by a J.D. MD, a doctor lawyer, and I have always been interested in medical issues. I'm a paramedic as well, and those medical legal issues fascinated me, and was very interested in getting the joint degree, and so this is too long a story for our brief time together. But the short story is that I did go back. I got into medical school after I had become a full-time lawyer, but that was the year that I ended up also becoming a full-time single dad, and I ended up raising 3 boys on my very own for a dozen years. And I found, even for me, something had to give. I was practicing law full-time. I was going to medical school full-time. I was being a full-time single parent. And something had to give. So it ended up being medical school.
Got it. All right. So what I get from your past is that it's okay for you to try something and then decide, this doesn't work for me, let me try something else. It's okay to try different things as you try to figure out what your purpose in life is. Right?
Absolutely. Life is this grand journey, Cricket, and we do get to try out different things. I'm reading a new book that I'm enjoying called One Person, Multiple Careers, and it starts off with a quote by Gail Sheehy, who wrote New Passages, and she says, "A single fixed identity is a liability today." And she goes on to talk about how important it is for all of us, not only for our economic well-being and our psychological well-being, but also for our mental health, our emotional health, and our spiritual health, because we can express ourselves in so many different ways in the universe. And, in my coaching work now, I'm seeing, accountants, musicians, and lawyers and photographers, and people who are melding together all of their gifts and talents in this rich tapestry of their lives. And I'm a baby boomer. I'm 56 years old. We were raised with the idea that, you go out, you get a job, you get a profession, you work for 40 years, you move to Florida, you retire, you play golf, and then you die.
Right.
And that model doesn't serve us anymore. And so I encourage my coaching clients to explore all of these gifts and talents and passions to create a tapestry of their life that really nurtures their hearts.
Okay, there's a quote in the book. There are a lot of great quotes in the book, by the way, but this is just one that I pulled out that I thought I'd like to share with my listeners, and that is that many people die with their dreams still in them. Why is this so? Too often it is because they are always getting ready to live. Before they know it, time runs out. To me, that is such a powerful quote. What is it that, how do we shift from getting ready to live to actually living? How do you make that initial step where you say, I'm getting off the couch and I'm going out and I am living today, and you keep doing that day after day? How do you get yourself motivated to do that?
We delude ourselves, Cricket, and we need to get beyond the delusion. I'm sitting in my writing studio right now as we're speaking, and on one of my bookshelves is this big hourglass, and it's this graphic reminder to me, and I flip it over from time to time. It's this graphic reminder that the sands are running through the glass, that our time on this earth is limited, and we delude ourselves by telling ourselves these stories that will get to what nurtures our hearts, will get to what brings us joy next week, next year, when the kids are out of school, when the loans are paid, when the mortgage is paid off, when I retire, when my spouse or partner retires. We delude ourselves and keep on putting it off. And the truth is, today is all we have. Now is all we have.
Mm-hmm.
And in this moment in time, we can express our highest and best self. So the answer to your question is we need to get in touch. We need to get critically aware of the fact that we do not have all the time in the world. That today is it. And we've got to live full out. We've got to live with joy. We've got to live with passion right here, right now.
And I absolutely agree. Live in the now. So speaking of now, we are going to cut away for a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the elephant in the room. We'll be right back with Arizona Living with Crickette.
Are you unimpressed with the cleanliness of your office? Do you need an extra hand at home? If so, look no further than the cleaning people. We're experienced in cleaning everything from your living room to an operating room. With an extensive service area in central Pinal County, including Coolidge, Casa Grande, and Maricopa, you're just a phone call away from the quality, courteous, professional service you deserve. So whether your carpet needs to be refreshed or you need customized cleaning solutions for your place of business, contact us today at 520-483-1156 or visit our website at tcpasap.com for a free, no-obligation, no-pressure estimate. That's 520-483-1156 or online at tcpasap.com. The Cleaning People, for quality, courteous, professional service.
Your skin is the first line of defense against the harsh Arizona sun, and as with anything left out in the sun too long, it can become dull, listless, cracked, and dry. Melba Day Spa can help you replenish your skin with services ranging from European facials to body waxing and massage. Come in and enjoy 20% off all services. Conveniently located in North Scottsdale, Melba Day Spa offers clients a private spa experience in a relaxed setting. Make your appointment today. Call 480-614-1227 or visit them online at www.melbadayspa.com. Renew, refresh, rejuvenate. Discover what your face has been missing.
And welcome back to Arizona Living with Crickette. I am your host, Crickette Gill, and on the line with us today, we are speaking with best-selling author of Journeys on the Edge, Mr. Walt Hampton. So, Walt, before we took a break, I said I wanted to talk to you about that elephant in the room. There's a chapter in your book called Eating the Elephant, and that elephant, to me, represents a very naughty F word called fear. How do we get around that? How do you get around that fear? I know I was scared just coming in here today and talking with you because I just love your book so much and I love your message, and it can be a little intimidating, but I was just so eager to talk to you that I blazed right through it. But for those of us that aren't quite as bold or courageous or unafraid, how do they get past that elephant?
I love that you used the F word, Crickette. You know, I use the F word all the time in my talks to high schools and colleges. I say, "What's your favorite F word?" Of course, I know what they go to.
Right.
My very favorite F word is your producer's got his hands right on the center. Right. My favorite F word is fun. But which is one way to overcome fear, which is always to live with a sense of joy. But here's the real answer to your question. Susan Jeffers has a great old book called "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway." Feel the fear and do it anyway. Just like you said today. Feel the fear and walk forward. And the more we befriend fear, the more we get to know fear, the more fear becomes a companion to us. You know, fear was put into our brains, our reptilian brains, a bazillion years ago. We roamed the plains and we worried about the woolly mammoths chasing us. But last time I checked my geography and maps, there were not many woolly mammoths running through downtown Phoenix. Now that fear piece really makes us live small rather than keeping us safe. Fear was meant to keep us safe, and it does in some instances, like in mountain climbing, high altitude mountaineering. But for the most part, fear makes us live small. And so we need to feel that fear, to become friends with the fear, to become companions with the fear, and move forward. Now, here's the corollary to that, is that it is the elephant in the room. It's big, it's massive. And as I say in the book, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
You do it step by step by step. I became an ultra-distance runner at age 54. My wife, when we were married 6 years ago, said, if I'm going to do that mountaineering stuff, you're going to become a distance runner. And I did. Ran my first marathon at age 53. Ran my first 2 ultra marathons at age 54. I mean, one was a 50K, one was a 50-miler. As I sit here today and talk with you, I have no idea how I ran 50 miles. It seemed incomprehensible to me. But what it was one step at a time. And so whenever we go into a new job, a new experience, a new adventure, a new passion, a new interview, a new relationship, it's one step at a time. If we try to bite off the whole thing, we try to chew the whole thing, we try to grab hold of the whole massive thing, it becomes untenable for us, and the fear can overtake us.
Right.
So we feel the fear, and we step into it, but we do it one step at a time, one small step at a time. And before we know it, we're in this magnificent place.
Okay, well, and that's right. You would have to tackle such a large task, one piece at a time. So let's talk about.
But even a small task, Crickette. People say, I've got to lose 50 pounds. That sounds huge. But if you say, okay, that's less than a pound a week over a year, that doesn't seem so bad.
That's true.
People can get their hands around, 3/4 of a pound a week. Did that every week for a long time, you'd have some serious weight loss. One small step at a time.
One small step at a time. Okay. So along those lines, then, is there such a thing as overthinking, over-strategizing? I mean, how much time and effort should we put into planning before we just set the plan into action?
Well, I think, you come back to that quote, always thinking about living and never living. I think you hit the nail on the head. A lot of people spend time thinking about doing stuff and not just going out and doing it. I don't counsel recklessness, of course. You can't last very long as a high-altitude mountaineer if you're reckless. And at the same time, if you always spend your time in front of your computer thinking about trips, thinking about places, you never get out and do them. I think we can overthink. I think if we err in any way in our lives and our culture, we err at overthinking, over-planning. In today's business environment, if you're going to become first to market, if you're going to bring your idea to market, you better, as some entrepreneurs say, build it as you fly it. Get your idea out there, tweak the idea, move forward, develop it as you go along. If you're going to start down a new writing project or a new travel project, get going, get moving on it. You can always tinker on things along the way, but if you spend all of your time just thinking about it, there is no time to do it. So I think, if anything, culturally, we have a propensity to overthink and not act.
Okay, I think I agree with that concept as well. So when it comes to tapping into the dreams of your youth, is it ever too late to do that? Is it ever too late to get back to, I always wanted to be a pilot when I was a child? Is it ever too late to recapture those dreams?
Never too late. I mean, think about David Orrick starting his big, successful vacuum cleaner business in his 60s. Think about Colonel Sanders starting Kentucky Fried Chicken in his 50s. Think about, some of the, think about Sister Madonna Butler, one of my great idols and icons. She's still alive. She's in her 80s. But up until very recently, she was running the Kona Triathlon, the granddaddy of all triathlons. And, of course, she was winning in her age group because she was in her 80s. So we're never too old to push forward with those dreams. And we we think, though, is that we can't recapture them. I have people come up after some of my talks at my events, and they've got tears in their eyes, and they say, I can't remember. And we do lose track of that. But I promise people, and I know it because I pulled it out of my coaching clients time and time again, we can get back in touch with what lights up our hearts. We absolutely can. And it's finding that place of joy. It's that quickening, that place of excitement. You know, a coach once asked me, write down what would be too much fun for you. And we get kind of serious as we get to adults. We think that work has to be a drudgery. But if we start kind of journaling out what would be too much fun for us to do, all of a sudden we can feel that excitement and that joy in our hearts again. And then we can become creators and we can become playful with what might be possible.
And tell me real quick before we take another break, what can our listeners expect to get out of Journeys on the Edge? What can we get out of it?
Well, as one of my colleagues, my lawyer colleagues said to me, it gives you a good kick in the butt to move forward.
Kick in the butt. That's right. And a lot of us need that, too. That's great. All right, we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back with Arizona Living with Crickette.
Take the hassle out of mealtime with affordable, high-quality kitchen products from the Pampered Chef. Simple, sensible mealtime solutions coupled with expert cooking tips and easy-to-create recipes from the Pampered Chef means less time in the kitchen and more time gathered around the dinner table. A full range of products from cookbooks to bakeware to dining, cutlery, stoneware, and storage, there is a Pampered Chef solution to fit your every culinary need. Contact your local Pampered Chef consultant, Colleen, today at 623-337-3510. Are you unimpressed with the cleanliness of your office? Do you need an extra hand at home? If so, look no further than the cleaning people. We're experienced in cleaning everything from your living room to an operating room. With an extensive service area in central Pinal County, including Coolidge, Casa Grande, and Maricopa, you're just a phone call away from the quality, courteous, professional service you deserve. So whether your carpet needs to be refreshed or you need customized cleaning solutions for your place of business, contact us today at 520-483-1156 or visit our website at tcpasap.com for a free, no-obligation, no-pressure estimate. That's 520-483-1156 or online at tcpasap.com. The Cleaning People, for quality, courteous, professional service.
And welcome back to Arizona Living with Crickette. We have been speaking this afternoon with best-selling author Walt Hampton. He is the author of Journeys on the Edge. So, Walt, we only have another minute and a half to go, so I have a quick question for you.
Yes, Crickette.
What is the one thing that you would recommend for those of us that were like you, a single parent, working full-time and going to school full-time? How do we hold it all together? What do we do?
Well, first of all, we need to learn to say no. That's the most important thing. As I wrote my blog today, one of the most important things we can learn is how to draw boundaries for ourselves, how to say no to what's not working in our lives. You know, 20% of our efforts lead to 80% of our results. 20% of our things that are not working lead to 80% of our headaches and our stress.
Mm-hmm.
So get clear on what's not working and begin to say no. Begin to draw boundaries for yourself, because when you say no to what's not working, you can say yes to what does.
All right. Thank you very much. And you mentioned your blog, so give us some information about how our listeners can get in contact with you.
Well, I love to be in contact with your listeners. WaltHampton.com. WaltHampton, WaltHampton.com.
Mm-hmm.
I write a weekly blog. You can check me out, communicate with me. I would love to hear from you. So connect with me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Crickette, it's been just a thrill to be able to share the message of Journeys.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Living with Crickette, bringing you positive talk radio for a welcome change. And remember to live, learn, and grow. For more information, check us out online at ArizonaLivingTalkRadio.com.
If you would like to hear this program again, log on right now to azchristiantalk.com. Then just go to the Click to Listen button to find this program. azchristiantalk.com.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Mrs. Schlafly is a constitutional attorney.